Hello, tribe. So I'm diving on a video and I'm going to just get stuck straight into it because there's a lot going on. There's a lot that's gone down and there's a lot that's coming. So let's talk about the full moon eclipse. See, I'm getting straight in, boom. Because, wow. And so all I can say is wow. Like, wow. It's just like, it's very, it's very rare that I get lost for words, but I'm kind of like, just keep saying, wow, the full moon eclipse was quite an intense one. And, I kind of thought that I escaped the energies of that until day 3 after the full moon, which I should have known better. I'm always finding the potency of the full moon for me, always 3 days after. Got taken out big time. Kind of thought I'd escaped my stuff. And then, and then it kind of went, oh no, you're not exempt, Marie. There you go. Here's your work to do, your homework. So that's exactly what happened. So the best way I can describe the full moon eclipse is, when you put the lights on in a room and you put a lamp on and the side lights or whatever, and you kind of get an idea and the room is illuminated and you're like, okay, cool. I can see. Awesome. That's great, But then along comes the full moon eclipse and we actually put the fluoro lights on. Those horrible strip lights? Put those lights on and everything is like, wow, it's so bright. It's what a horrible glare. But guess what? You can see the dirty marks on the carpet. You can see the dirty sticky handprints on the sofa. Your windows are filthy and you're like, oh, my curtains need a clean. Why did I not see this? Because now you're really seeing the shit. Okay, that was the full moon eclipse. And it was like, oh, and that the cleaning process begins. So we dived into that. We got taken into that. And you know what? These upgrades, and I'm going to call them upgrades to keep them expansive as possible because that's effectively what they are. These upgrades are all signature and unique to you now. I think when we're at this stage of the game, we're really at that final push, right? Because like 2022 is just around the corner. We're there. But when we're at this point now, I kind of find it like everybody is going through their own darknesses, but it's got different stories, okay? Whereas before, there would be like a signature something we're clearing. Do you know what I mean? Or a signature this, signature that. This is now unique to every single person because it's a bit like clearing your cupboards out and you're in your jumper drawer and you're clearing out your jumper. That's your trouser drawer when you're cleaning out your trousers and all the tops that you don't want. But then when you get to those last few drawers where there's just everything is shoved in them, you have a sock in there with a tennis ball, whatever, and a scarf. Do you know what I mean? And there's a book in there. There's loads of random stuff in there. But either way, you can't leave without clearing those last couple of drawers. It's like you can't just leave that stuff behind. That's where we're at. It's the best way to describe it. We're actually dealing with all the last quick bits and pieces. We've done all the big chunks of signature stuff, meaning like, okay, that's in that area of my life. That's to do with my love life. Okay, that's to do with my money life. Now we're dealing with the tennis ball, the sock and the book. Do you know what I mean? In the drawer. And it's just like, oh man. So it's a real mixture and blend. And I think that's why all of us are going through different things for different reasons. However, the overshadowing energy that came through, and I'm still questioning whether it was a lot to do with the collective. Well, it's always to do with the collective, isn't it? But like this last weekend I've just been through, I was shown in no uncertain terms how much of my codependency on my family was still here. Now, as you know, I'm a twin flame. I work very strongly with a twin flame frequency. Me and my husband have been married for 21 years, and it's like, it's been a tangled ball of wool. It's been really intense, but we've done a lot of work and we've actually kind of really addressed that codependency. That was one of the big things. 6 years ago, we moved to different countries. He was supposed to come with. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother twin flame video. But there was our physical separation. Now, during that 6 years, we unpacked some stuff and we really have addressed our codependency, especially being in 2 different countries and still keeping our love light going for each other. We have, and we're still together and everything is fine. So there I was thinking that I dealt with that codependency, tick, bring me in the next thing, right? My son, who is kind of like part of my twin flame frequency, I feel that very strongly, came in and oh my God, not even going to go into the story because it's just a story, but he triggered me so badly that in the moment I just burst into tears and I didn't stop crying for 2 hours because didn't realize how codependent I was on him. Something came forth, it burst me right open. And this is what your triggers are going to feel like now, okay? It's not going to be like the trigger where you're like, oh, it was really intense in your body and you feel crap for an hour or so and then you go home and then you sit down and you have tears. This is instantaneous, like ripping off the plaster, ripping off that plaster. Yeah, ow, ooh, and it's like, it's instantaneous pain, instantaneous purge, and it's powerful and it's big, but it doesn't last as long. So it's kind of like, you know, we've kind of taken the duration down, and intensity has gone up, and maybe frequency, as in mean how often it happens, has gone up. But you've got to understand why, because we're really, so don't resist it. Welcome it, because you know, at the end of the day, if your house is not clean, okay, you're going to sit there for ages just going on and on. Everybody's going to be outside playing, and you're not going to be allowed to go outside and play because you've still got work to do back at home. You've still got chores to do. So rather just get your stuff done and kind of look for it and welcome it in. So instead of like, you know, going into a trauma of some sort, when you kind of go, I don't have any money for this, I'm so scared about this, I'm so scared about that, and oh my God, when am I going to find my beloved? Or when's my beloved stop going to be an arsehole to me? Whatever, you know, instead of like sat there like being locked down with it, open it up, go looking for that and go, right, okay, in the moment, right, what are we doing? Because the trigger is there for you to release repressed energy. The repressed energy is what's keeping you in separation. So going back to that separation and loneliness, this last weekend was intense. So through this codependency, through this massive trigger I received on Friday night, son disappeared for the whole weekend. So did my daughter. And then my husband wasn't even here anyway. So Spirit really made sure that I felt this in its entirety. All I had was the dog and the cats, you know, it's yay me. But like that was it, you know, and I was really, really, really on my own, and I had to go into it, and it was painful. And did I struggle to get out of it? Absolutely. Did I distract myself as much as possible? Yeah. Tried to go up the mountain and go, this is nice and spiritual and connecting with trees. And I was like, I still want to die. Do you know what I mean? It was like, came back up the mountain. I'm like, well, maybe I'll have a cake and that'll make me feel better. And then I'm like, I feel sick now. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, there was no lily pad for me to jump on to feel better. But now I'm onto that now. Next time I'm not going to jump onto a lily pad or even look for one, because the lily pad I'm on, that is where the magic is. And as painful and as horrible as it is, I've got the memo now that for me to be able to go out and play with my friends, like really play, I got to get this done. And if you're feeling it, you're clearing it. Remember that if you're feeling it, you're clearing it, but you need to open into it as well. Allow the space. Like I've always said, go to my 5 videos on YouTube, how to lose your mind, come into your heart, open, allow this repressed stuff to come up. And it's still going to be intense, and you might have to revisit it again and again and again with this tool that I speak of, opening up and allowing it to come out, so it can clear. But then eventually it will have no energy. So get practical with it now and get it done, you know? So as we move through December's going to be a lot nicer month for all of us, I think. A lot of people are talking about, you know, the number 8, infinity. And the number 8 is very, very connected for me to the Sphinx in Egypt. And that's quite apt that we're very much surrounded in lion energy and the Lyran energy, which is the Lyran star constellation, which is kind of like slightly connected, well, quite a lot connected to Sirius as well. My white lion, the star lines, my white line frequency, which I've always held, has really come online. That has been my galactic roots, which I've kind of been repressing and sitting back from, and it's just expanded and exploded. And also my love for Africa, which is where I live, has deepened exponentially. So I know that I'm moving in the right direction, even though it's super powerful. But going back to that feline frequency, it's not just there for Marie, it's there for all of us. A lot of us are connecting in with Sekhmet. A lot of us are working with the Lyran frequency and just, you know, the feline frequency in general. And if you talk about Bast, okay, Bast or Bastet, she's the soul of Isis. Oh no, that's Ma'at. Looks like Ma'at, but soul of Isis. And, you know, she's all about nurturing and self-care and beauty and all that kind of thing. So it's not just about your lion's roar and strength, you know, but this month of December is very much that. So self-care and kind of like really coming into that space now. So with December, we got a lot of portals. We got 12/12, the 21st of December, and activation portals in between. So December's going to bring a lot more calming energy, but for you to kind of like take a breath now. That intensity we've just been through, that was full on. Now, if you are feeling those triggers through December, it's because you haven't opened your heart enough. Open your heart. Do the work. Allow this stuff to come out. That's all that needs to happen. It really is that simple. Allow. Welcome in the stuff that needs to come. It's just low vibration. And your job is to bring it up to its highest vibration, which is with your frequency, right? So use the energy of Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the lion goddess in Egypt, and she is all about transmuting in the belly through fire. She's known as the lady of the flame. So use her frequency and her love. She's going to take it, and she's like, raw. She's about that raw, transmute. She will help you basically turn fear into courage. And right now, we need you to come out the back of the cave. Right now, we need you to be seen. Right now, we need you to love yourself and bring compassion to yourself so you can come into a whole lot of whole, because we all walk in oneness and we leave no man behind. So where I go, you're coming with me, you know? So working with Sekhmet is really going to be quite comforting and powerful as well. But you know what? Maybe it's just enough to be lying on the bed like I've been doing, surrounded by my 4 Maine Coons, and just having them hold it down for me. So that is going to then take us through. So December is going to take us through to the 1st of January. Melchizedek has actually said that the 1st of January, there is going to be a huge influx of codes. In fact, a friend of mine told me that it came up in one of our readings, but January the 1st is always my most potent time in the year, at the beginning of the year anyway. I always feel that a huge upgrade, even before I was fully spiritual and into this work, always felt that massively. 1st of January, these codes coming in appear to me as white light, like a rain, white light. And that's going to act as a shower of white light energy to kind of like a tsunami, wash all of this debris away, just like the rains in Africa, just like the rains, there's a song about that, just about like the rains in Zimbabwe. So much love for that place, because when those rains come down, it's been very, very hot, it's very, very dusty, and the rains come and they're tropical, and it's just tsunami of rivers down the road. And then afterwards there's a sense, an energetic sense of like, and that is what January is going to bring to you with that tsunami of white light. So then we're going to move into February. And then that's a whole nother post. I'm going to talk about that down the line, because I just want you to kind of like focus your energy from now until that January the 1st. And when we're in 2022, then we'll get there. During these times of expansion, because what I'm talking about is pretty massive and pretty big. So during this time of expansion, you're going to start to experience manipulations big time, especially from the government, especially from the authorities, especially from the media and everything around you. I mean, that's already ramping up, because as we expand, remember, my last video spoke about the game, okay? So the game, think about it. You're playing the game. We move, they move. They have an agenda just like we do, which is to win, okay? So basically, as we expand, expect it. Don't be surprised that you're basically reading all of this nonsense in the newspapers and the governments are telling you, that it's mandatory to do this, that, and the other. I don't even want to say the words, but you know what I'm talking about, because that's them just game playing. So you game play, you expand more because you know the truth, because that's just illusion and bullshit. And if it triggers your fear, then say, thank you, the dark side. Thank you for that, because that's triggered my fear. I just needed a story to trigger that fear. I'm going to take the gift you've given me and expand into it, okay? And then use that energy of fear, transmute it into courage, and bring it into your highest frequency. You see, it's a game. It's like passing the ball back to each other. Try and intercept, catch the ball, run with it. You know what I mean? So this is how you're going to work with the frequencies. Do not get taken out or taken in to the false illusion of what you're being told, because it's exactly that, it's illusion. So Africa, I just want to end off now with Africa. I am so blessed and lucky to be living on this continent for the past 21 years, okay? I am living in Cape Town, South Africa. I also reside in Zimbabwe and, and kind of Egypt now as well, because of the tour, April 2022. That is bang on time. It is in perfect alignment to basically bring that kind of energy. And the people that are coming on the tour, are you one of them? That is, if you're being called to Africa, if you're being called to your golden frequency, April 2022 will be beyond all the shifts, the portals. Now it's time to work. That's what's so exciting about this tour. So this is the thing. If Africa is calling you, and maybe not to even the tour, Egypt, just Africa is special, man. And this is expanding. So I believe that we all have those codes within us, because when you speak about Africa, there ain't no one that doesn't go, oh yeah, even if it's to go on a safari, not necessarily spiritual stuff. If you have the opportunity or you feel the calling, get to Africa, because I'm telling you now, the energy here is so expansive and powerful. And if you want to just see how that plays out in the world, okay, just see how the conversation between Africa and the UK, all right? So basically they kind of like blocked the borders and we were having none of it and we stood in our power and then they opened the borders, you know? So what I'm saying is like when you stand in your power, you can actually open airports. So I'm just gonna leave you with that. and really bring up your golden frequency, man, because the time is golden and we're very excited because we're moving into the golden age and I'm so happy to be doing it with you. Thanks for watching. Peace.